Welcome, FNUZ57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox Series X. Finally, we're playing some Call of Duty MW3, and today is all about unlocking one of, honestly, the cooler, in my opinion, blueprints in the game, the Press F blueprint, which is actually for the SVA 545, and it has some decent attachments on there that personally I would use in zombies since, you know, I am a zombies player. It's also a pretty cool looking blueprint, and we'll have to see what it looks like at the end of the video with the mastery camos. This also is covering the Vortex Death's Lair event and how to complete all of those challenges. So without further ado, let's take a look at what you need to do. What you need to do is complete a whopping number of challenges. We actually have 9 challenges to go through. It's really annoying. So the first challenge I've already done. It's honestly super easy. You just have to, in zombies, kill 2 enemies with a single shot 10 times. It's ridiculously easy. I should mention all of these challenges have a separate challenge for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, so you can do them in whatever game mode you feel is the most fun for you. But in my opinion, I'm a zombies player, so we're going to be doing all of these in zombies. That one, obviously, you're going to get, like, literally without trying. Next up, we have the Vortex Death's Lair challenge, which you get this little kind of cool animated skeleton here, and you have to get 75 kills with a melee weapon while Ether Shroud is active. This one is probably the worst challenge out of all of them, so we're going to save that one for last. You also need to get 200 critical kills with a scoped sniper rifle. You need to kill 15 mimics. You need to get 200 critical kills with a silenced SMG. You need to get 200 one-shot kills with a pack-a-punch sniper. You need to get 10 consecutive kills without taking damage 10 times using a melee weapon. You have to kill 120 zombies with throwing knives, and you must get 200 kills while Juggernog is active. So, most of those challenges are relatively self-explanatory. I probably shouldn't, have to explain kills with a SMG, but, just in case anyone is unfamiliar with all that. Now, I should mention at the time of recording this, tracking and adding challenges to your tracked list can be a little bit buggy. Sometimes you have to, actually track them and then untrack them because for some weird reason it doesn't actually register that you've done that. I don't really know why that's the case, but we're going to start off with the easiest ones, and keep in mind that there will be ones for timestamps. So if you want to skip ahead in the video, that's perfectly fine. We're going to start with the easiest ones, which are going to be the sniper rifle, SMG, and then just general kill related challenges. For this, if you are going in solo, you will want to be pretty geared up or set a tombstone. Link in the video description for that. And I'm going to be bringing in a submachine gun. It doesn't matter which one you use as long as it has a suppressor on it. And I'm going to be bringing in a sniper rifle, which again, it doesn't matter which one you use as long as the scope on it is a magnified scope. So, bring in whatever you want. Your choice of weapons is up to you. Go ahead and get kitted out. I will see you in-game. Alright, so now that we're in-game, what you want to do, once you've geared up, find yourself a P&D Outlast contract. Go ahead and turn it into a infinite spawn contract. It's very easy to do. If you haven't seen me do it before, you simply have to start the PND, enter and exit the area with the purple blacklight look to it, take the PND progress bar up to 35%, and then just exit the area, and you'll have basically an infinite spawn of zombies. You can do this at any tier you want. And this is going to be the easiest way to set up to farm all of your kills. So this will work for your sniper kills, your melee kills, your SMG kills, pretty much everything once you're set up and in the game. I happen to luck out and have one here near my tombstone. So all we're going to do is just find where the zombie spawn point is. Don't get too terribly close to it. Obviously, for efficiency, you want to have your Jug perk and you want to have Deadshot Daiquiri. If you don't have those yet, that's okay too, because, I mean, as you can see, it's pretty damn easy, especially with level 1 zombies, to go ahead and grab headshots. And these are going to be counting for our crit kills with a silenced or suppressed SMG. So just keep doing that till you are close to your kills, and then you can switch to the next kill type and go from there. Now, like I mentioned, having Deadshot Daiquiri would make the critical kills with snipers easier. However, you can do it without Deadshot Daiquiri. There's my crit kills with the sniper rifle. Now, all I need to do is get some one-shot kills with the sniper while I have it pack-a-punched, and we'll be able to complete that challenge too. There's the one-shot kills with a pack-a-punched sniper rifle done. More than likely, in the process of doing this, you will also obtain the kill so many enemies with a single bullet 10 times, or kill 2 enemies, I should say, with a single bullet 10 times. It's pretty hard to actually avoid that. Then you can start working on your throwing knife kills. If you are using a regular throwing knife, obviously stay in tier 1. However, for this challenge, the ether blade counts as well. So you can see we're just kind of racking up those kills. It was at like 127. Well, we have to get to 120 total. I have 91. It takes a second for it to update for some reason. But now you can see I have 94. And you can just keep using your ether blade to do this. You can also get your SMG challenges out of the way, but I recommend that you go ahead and make sure that you have Jug so that you can get started on the mimic kills, and make sure that you're doing that challenge at the same time.
Zombie neutralized.
There we go, there's our 200 kills while having Juggernog active done. Again, super simple, really shouldn't have to explain it, but you can either craft a can of Juggernog and bring it in with you so you can start progress on that challenge right away, or you could simply go to the perk machine and buy Juggernog, or you can go to the Wonder Fizz and buy all the perks that you want. At the end of the day, it's personal preference. So we're going to stay here, and we're going to continue to farm the rest of our weapon kills that we need, and then I will meet you at the mimic kills. Finally, that's our 200 crit kills with the silenced SMG. So basically, we're just about done with kills. All we have to do are the melee weapon kills, the mimic kills, and the throwing knife kills. If you wish, you can continue to farm these kills here. Otherwise, you can go ahead and move on to a different kill type, which that's what I'm going to have to end up doing. Right there was the 120 kills with these throwing knife or ether blade, whichever one you have. So now what I need to do is I actually need to go ahead and get mimic kills, and as anybody who has like ever had to do mimic kills in this game knows, unfortunately it is a royal nightmare because they basically don't show up when you need them. Now, technically speaking, there's a couple of ways that you can farm mimics. You could farm the tier 2 exfil and hope that a couple of mimics show up. You could go around the map to all of the infested strongholds. At least in tier 2, there's supposed to be a guaranteed 2 mimics. However, most of the time they get drug out or killed by other players before you can even get there. or you can do eliminate big bounty missions in tier 1 and tier 2 zones and hopefully get mimics. If you don't get a mimic, you can just cancel it. If you want to check the strongholds, it's pretty easy to check the stronghold. You can just come in, take a quick loop around a stronghold. If your weapon is upgraded, then you shouldn't have much trouble in here. Normally, the mimics are located on the roof. Sometimes a mimic will be in hiding, pretending to be something else. And generally what I recommend doing is completing the actual entirety of the infested stronghold. This way other players know that that one has been cleared and removed from the map. Unfortunately, I'm just in a rush because I'm running out of hard drive space. So we're going to move on to the next infested stronghold, which is something that normally I don't do. But just for instance, making the video as fast as possible, I'm going to do it this one game. Alright, if you're really lucky like I am here, the mimics will be right on top of the infested stronghold, and you can quickly gun them down. It honestly doesn't matter what weapon you use to kill them. You'll complete the challenge once you've killed 15 of them, and then you're free to move on. You can do it with any weapon, so if you're doing your SMG kills, your sniper kills, or your melee kills, you can do it there, and it's relatively straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this match, come back in with a melee weapon. You can use any melee weapon that you want, but I do recommend the Tonfa, and then we're going to get started with the last two challenges. Alright, just to be clear, we have the two worst challenges here. We had the Vortex Death's Lair, 75 kills with a melee weapon while Ether Shroud is active, and we have the whole 10 consecutive kills without taking damage 10 times with all kills coming from a melee weapon. So go ahead and track both of those challenges before you go back into the game. Make sure that you're ready when you go back into the game. Any melee weapon will work, but you want to use a melee weapon that doesn't actually drag you into the crowd of zombies. So I recommend the Tonfa, the Soul Render. Really, there's a few different weapons that you can use. It's kind of personal preference. Regardless of how you do this, it's going to take some time to complete, and it is easier to do with a team. If you do this with a team, then it will be a little bit faster because one person can farm zombie kills somewhere else and hopefully get you some power-ups to restore your ultimate, or whatever you want to call it, your field upgrade, so to speak. Alright, so here we go. Once you're all geared up and you've set a nice little infinite spawn, you're going to be going for both melee challenges, the 10 consecutive kills without taking damage 10 times, with all kills coming from a melee weapon, will definitely be easier to do on single zombies or just out in the open. But since we need a crap load of zombie kills to charge our Ether Shroud ability, honestly, we'll get both at the same time with an infinite spawn Outlast contract. It does help if you have some perks to make you tankier, like Juggernog and Quick Revive. It also helps with this if you are using the whole PhD flopper thing. And there we go. There's our melee kills, 10 melee kills without taking damage 10 times. And pretty much at this point now you're free to go ahead and take damage. For this, make sure that you do not have Brain Rot as an ammo mod, and make sure that you are not using the whole Elemental Pop perk, because that will have a chance of proccing Brain Rot, turning a zombie friendly, and just messing up the whole thing for you. So pretty much from this point on, go ahead and keep murdering a whole boatload of zombies, as many as you can, as fast as you can, doesn't matter how, until you have your Ether Shroud ability active. Then make sure that the zombies are kind of close to you. Go ahead and activate your Ether Shroud ability and just pretty much start spamming away on them. Keep repeating this process until you finish the challenge and you're good to go. If you have decoy grenades, you can always toss a decoy grenade before you activate Ether Shroud. This will keep the zombies in place, or you can go ahead and make sure that you're in a very narrow area, a confined space with the zombies in relatively close proximity to you before you activate Ether Shroud. Thereby, all the zombies will kind of just lose interest in you and stare at the wall next to you. Of course, if there's any other players around, the zombies are going to go after those players, so just keep that in mind. And obviously, having something like golden armor or speed cola so you can restock your armor plates quickly would be very helpful in this situation. Now, once you've gone ahead and gotten all of the 10 zombie kills without taking damage 10 times with a melee weapon, when you finish that, you are free to kill off the zombies in whatever manner you want. Also, make sure you're not using a friendly hellhound or friendly mercenary for this, because again, that will screw it up since they are stealing your kills. But you could go ahead and use a secondary weapon to charge your ability, or you could use your ether blade, throwing knives, tacticals. Honestly, doesn't matter. Just kill and charge your ability as fast as possible, and then keep repeating that process. You have to get a total of 75 of these kills while Ether Shroud is active with the melee weapon. Honestly, this is the most frustrating and annoying challenge that you could possibly have to do out of this entire thing. That's why I recommend a very fast attack speed melee weapon. And then just to farm the infinite spawn outlast contract. Obviously, do keep an eye that you don't get completely wrecked, because these zombies are very unforgiving. You should average somewhere around 4 to 6 zombie kills while Ether Shroud is active with your melee weapon. Honestly, it just depends on how close they are to you, since you can't start swinging your melee weapon until the animation of using Ether Shroud has ended, which is super annoying, but unfortunately that's just the way that it is. That's also why we're using a very fast melee speed weapon like the Tampa to make this as easy as possible. You do have to be a little bit careful when you activate Ether Shroud and you start meleeing. Sometimes it'll lunge you through the zombies to a completely different area, so just bear that in mind. But following the tips that I've provided, you should totally be able to finish that challenge within one game of zombies. And then, as you've seen, we unlocked the weapon, so I'm going to go back to the lobby and show you guys exactly what that weapon that you worked so hard to get looks like. Alright, now that we're back in the game, you can see we have the game over weapon. This is the press F blueprint. Honestly, it looks pretty cool. It's not animated. Let's take a quick look at it with the completionist camos on there. The way the blueprint is, it honestly doesn't really look bad with any of the camos. It looks pretty good with Borealis, which is one that I would use pretty much all the time. It even can be used with the Prestige camos, and let's see how it looks with one of the harder to get Survivor camo on here, which is honestly one of my favorites, the Market Survivor. It honestly doesn't look too bad with that on there. Let's take it into the firing range for you guys real quick. Obviously, it has no stock, so this is built for mobility, basically. 60 round mag. Looks cool. It kind of glows in low light situations here. I bet it looks really cool in an Outlast contract. It is just iron sights. Obviously, with the stock removed, it has fairly high vertical recoil. Not really too bad for horizontal recoil. So if you can compensate for the vertical recoil and you're not engaging targets at super long distances, it's honestly pretty okay. Not sure how it would do in multiplayer or Warzone, but for zombies, it could be an okay gun. Kind of. I'm not a fan of removing the stocks, but hey, it does look cool. That's what counts, right? Good old game over like kind of liquid cracked magma if the magma was blue. I like the effect overall. It's one of the more annoying challenges that we've had to do. For some reason, it has 2.5 times magnification, even though it just has iron sight, so I'm not sure why that's listed there. But congratulations, folks. You now have the Press F blueprint along with the other rewards from this whole Vortex Death Lair challenge. So now that you have everything, do me a huge favor, slap that like button, subscribe for more content, and of course, maybe, just maybe, share the video with a friend. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, Legion, stay frosty.